What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. Back again with another fantasy football tip. Back again with Ade. What's happening? How's Nigeria?
It's blessed, man. It's blessed. We're doing it from the motherland today.
They can't say we're not dedicated to this, bro. All the way, all the way from Nigeria. We had a good week again.
But it could have been better.
A good week. I won't say but we could have done a lot better last week.
It could have been better.
Could have been a lot better.
It was a really good week.
Share my screen as always.
But it could have been super.
100%. I agree with that. Before we get started, people, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends and family, turn on your notifications to know whenever we upload. If you know there's anyone that particularly plays fantasy football, this is what you want to be sharing with them. We've got a big week. I think this week is a difficult week, I'll be honest. So I'm quite keen to see what you've got for them this week, Ade. But I'm going to share my screen and then we get going. Let me share my screen. So I'm just going to share what we did last week. So we ended up with 67 points. Our defense done well. Oh, this is the wrong team. You know, this is the wrong team I've got there.
It's not 67.
This is the 71. Yeah, we've got more than that. Sorry, this is my that's my own private one, which is that one wasn't good enough, definitely.
See, my private one's not doing as well as the one we do. So clearly 2 heads are better than 1.
Yeah, definitely, because I think we might even be ahead. We might even be ahead of my private one, to be honest with you. If that's the case.
Ahead of mine.
But look, while I'm waiting to load it up, what have you got them for this week? What games are you particularly targeting this week? Have you got anything in mind?
You know, this week's a hard one, and I think I'm a bit demoralized from last week because Bowen just crushed me. Bowen just didn't do what I expected him to do, so I'm a bit apprehensive about this week's fixtures. Yeah, it could be. It's an interesting one. I think they're all quite hard. They're all quite hard. But if I was to probably hang my hat on any team, it'll either be Chelsea or Newcastle. So I think Newcastle have Fulham, and Chelsea have Sunderland.
Fulham at home. Yeah.
Fulham are away from home.
Yeah, Fulham are away. All right, so we did get correction. We got 71 points. So could be better. Could have been better. We got a clean sheet from Timber, Muniz, and you know what? I was close to putting Nebraska as well, but that one I can live with. Is this? How do you pronounce his name? Groupie Junior.
Groupie Junior. But they won't understand.
We might need to trial him out this week.
Yeah, they won't understand that we're speaking about him during the internationals.
Yeah, so I think that's why it hurts more, really, because we was talking about him. We were just talking about how he wasn't just a young striker; he's someone that could actually come on and potentially get goals. And we was talking about it during you know what? It was probably good that we didn't do it because they'll think we're witches if we played him. And
because it made me laugh.
We got it right.
It made me laugh so much when it happened because obviously I finished football and I checked the score and I saw it was him that scored 2. And I was like, they will not understand that during the internationals, we were actually following this boy, saying that he's got history because I think he was probably top goal scorer in League 2 last year, even at the age of 18.
Yeah.
So, it's potential. Potential's there.
Okay, cool. All right, look, so these are the teams. I know you mentioned Bowen. I think we were discussing the fixtures before international, and Bowen was one of the players you mentioned last week. The loss at home, which I didn't think anyone. I'm not surprised they lost at home, but I just thought they would have done a bit more because they were totally dominated against Brentford.
Yeah.
And that slightly makes the Bowen choice. It makes it seem as if it's a bad choice, but it wasn't. Do you get what I mean?
So before
we
last
haven't
week,
actually got him.
Yeah, Bowen was the third highest striker, and you have to realize that's in a bad team. He was the third highest forward in a bad team, so it was an educated decision. I think based on now, after last week, if I don't have him, I won't bring him in. But if I do have him, I'll probably keep him for one more week.
Okay. Someone that did do well last week was Mateta. I know they've got Arsenal this week, but the 2 games after Arsenal are reasonable games for him to get goals in. Would you take the risk getting him now, or would you just wait until after Arsenal's game?
I would wait. Because as much as he scored a hat-trick, he's been missing chances, and I don't think Arsenal are going to give that many chances away in the first place.
Okay. So after Arsenal, they've got 2 home games, one against Brentford and one against Brighton. And Brentford might not give a lot away, but Brighton will give you chances. That's something Brighton's guaranteed to do. So if he is in your team, I'll keep him. If not, then I'll agree with you. I'll wait until next week, because Arsenal doesn't seem like the type of team that is going to give anything away at this point.
They don't. You have to think, in their last 2 Premier League games, they haven't allowed a single shot, and Mateta hasn't been the most prolific this season. So the balance of things, I probably wouldn't get him full this game, but afterwards, for sure, I'll be thinking of him.
Okay. All right. Let's just revert back to what you were saying earlier on. You said Chelsea and Newcastle are the 2 teams that you'd be taking a look at. So if you was to pick players from those 2 teams, what the players are you looking at?
From Newcastle, I'll probably look at the defense. I think I've sort of focused on the defense when it comes to Newcastle. Or the striker, Vodemada, he's the only one I'd look at. Gordon and Co haven't been consistent, so I wouldn't be too comfortable getting one of their midfielders. And with Chelsea, I'd happily get a midfielder. But I think the 2 midfielders that scream to me will always be, it's mad. It's the centre midfielders, Enzo or Caicedo, or I would get Cucurella, because Cucurella always has an assist in him.
Okay. The one player that definitely does stand out to me will be Enzo, because he's on penalty duties, and he always seems to get, like, he's one of those players that makes a late run into the box and doesn't always get picked up. So I do feel he's always got a few chances in him every game. So let me just check where he's ranked in terms of like midfielders, because I think he should be one of the top midfielders, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Or is he not? Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So you got to be fair, the 2 players you mentioned are top 5 midfielders this season. I'm quite surprised with Caicedo. I'm surprised he's up there, because I wouldn't think so. I thought he would have been more up there for like the defensive contributions. I didn't think he would be there for his goals, and he seems to. Yeah. Okay. So Enzo and Caicedo. Okay. Look, Bournemouth has got Forest at home. I know Forest has got a new manager. Would you take the chance of any Bournemouth player if you don't, apart from Semenyo? I'm guessing every Tom, Dick, and Harry has Semenyo right now. If you don't have Semenyo, then I don't know why you're even playing the game.
Yeah. I still would take the Bournemouth players, midfielders, Trippier Jr., defenders, I'll still go Bournemouth. Nottingham Forest, it might be one of those games that's a 0-0 or 1 goal each way. Because Nottingham Forest, I'm not sure I'm expecting them to score loads. I'm more likely expecting their defense to get better first.
Okay. The only other 2 games that stands out, I know we talked about, actually there's 3 games actually. We talked about Arsenal. I think the issue with Arsenal, their goals are spread out, and we don't really know who's going to score it. With Gyökeres scoring 2 midweek, would you put a punt on him?
Yeah, I think he's available for a punt, but whether or not I see him doing against the Palace defenders, I'm not too sure. Because I did have him, but I took him off last week. Once I knew he wasn't on penalties, his form at the moment doesn't scream to me that he's definitely going to keep scoring the goals.
Okay. And then we have City, Villa. Would you still make Haaland captain? Because for the last few weeks, Haaland's been everyone's captain. Would he still remain captain?
I would like to try someone else this week, but everything screams that if he's scoring, why is he going to stop scoring? That's the only thing. But I personally I think it's time to try somebody else, and might give you the chance to like make a few points over everyone else.
Okay. Before we go into our team and start deciding who we're going to pick, Liverpool won 5-1 midweek in the Champions League. Gakpo seems to be the player on form. Would you go in for Gakpo now? Some may have him already.
Yeah. After watching that United game, I think so. I think he was head and shoulders above everyone else in that team.
Okay. All right, let's go into our team and see if where you think is needed changing. One that I've off the cuff is obviously Trippier Jr. Do we just play 3 up front?
Who do we take off? We could take off Reinders.
I think Kudus or Reinders, one of them. You say Reinders?
I'll say Reinders.
Okay.
I'll say Reinders. I think naturally he's less attacking than Kudus.
Okay. In terms of the defense, do you keep Munoz in despite them playing Arsenal, or do you bring Rondon or Dioufon?
I think potentially we bring in one of the others. I said just because Arsenal, obviously he could still do something, but Arsenal, as we said, they don't let up chances really. And when I get Munoz, it's more for their attacking threat. So if we're assuming that potentially there is none, I would, Rondon's probably a good shout.
Okay, and the last one is more the goalkeeper, Pickford, or do we go for Nebraska?
I'll leave it to you because I made the last one incorrect, so I'll leave you to make that one.
They just keep it. I might change my mind last minute, but I can see Burnley going away from home keeping a clean sheet because Wolves are in a bad state at the moment.
Yeah.
Because they're struggling to score goals. How many goals have they even scored this season?
Not too many.
I'm not sure they've scored much. Yeah, I don't think they've scored much this season. But we'll keep it for now. In terms of like the order they're in, is that fine?
I would keep it that way.
Yeah.
Maybe your fan Muniz potentially, because I'd like to feel that Newcastle Leeds will let up more. I don't think we'll even get that far, but maybe Diouf ahead of Muniz. just because of who they're playing.
Right. What? Cool. I want to see if we have any money in the bank because it's not. I'm not sure if it'd be enough. I was thinking if we have enough, we can do kudos for Gapco. I'm not sure it's enough though, is it?
Yeah, I don't think
it is enough.
I don't think it's a must to do this week. Like, obviously, it's the one that we can do, but whether it's a must, maybe just keep the...
Maybe not, to be honest, because last week, I didn't think we needed to do last week's one. We did it, and it didn't end up working for us. We got we didn't end up getting them in the team anyway.
Funnily enough, yeah. But I don't think it's one that we need to do. Like, obviously, it might have some upside, but I don't think it's a necessity. Kudus is good enough to get maybe a similar goal and assist, goal, assist situation.
All right, so for now, we keep it like that.
Right.
So we've got... yeah, if Gakpo does well, it'll cry. I think, and in terms of the captain, you're saying you're thinking of doing something different. I do agree with you, but who would you want us to go for?
I'd like one of the midfielders, in all honesty. Mbeumo or Saka.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Let's do Mbeumo for now. And then if anything changes, we'll come back to it. But for now, let's keep Mbeumo.
Okay.
And we keep Haaland vice.
That works, yeah. And you might have a dream in the night that says you to go a different direction, which will be fine.
So yeah, Mbeumo. I think Mbeumo, Saka are not bad choices. I'll be honest with you. If I'm not going with Haaland, those are the two I'll go with. Yeah, I think the team is fine for now. All right, before we jump off, it's not going to be a normal week if I don't ask for your wild cards. Last week you gave us Anthony. Who else did you give us? Longstaff. None of them materialized. But this is probably last week was probably the first week that it hasn't materialized. So one week out of 4 or 5 is not. I mean, is not bad when you've got the rest right. So this week, who have you got in mind? If you was to pick someone out of the ordinary, someone that you don't think people would tend to go for, who would be on your mind?
I'll probably go Igor Thiago this particular week. I think he's been consistent, obviously, and they're playing Liverpool, which makes him even more reason why I wouldn't expect people to go for him. But I do think he has a chance against Liverpool. If both of the centre-backs show up, then myth. And they're ready to fight, then myth. But based on current form, I think he can get a goal, potentially 2, against Liverpool.
Okay. He did have a lot of chances against West Ham. He had a lot of chances against us. Could have scored 2 against West Ham if that second one wasn't offside. So
yeah,
I'll admit to you, it's not a bad choice because watching Liverpool on Wednesday, although they won 5-1, they still gave a lot of chances away.
Yeah, they're letting up those chances.
Yeah, the other team could have scored as well. They could have scored more. Obviously, they weren't playing a great side, so they didn't get punished. So if he is on form, then potentially he can. Yeah, I reckon he can at least get 1.
Yeah, I'd like to think that.
Yeah, so we'll see how he gets on. But yeah, that's it. Thanks, people. Thanks for tuning in again. If this is your first time, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share this with all your other friends that does fantasy football. Unless if you want to keep this a secret and keep the good work for yourself. But yeah, subscribe. And then we'll be back again next week and see how we're getting on. As you can see from the greens on this side, you can tell that we've been doing well for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Wow. We've been smashing it. We started off being like out of the overall league, we were like 6 million to 7 million. Well, we're in like the top 2 million now. And in our own personal league, we was around bottom of the table, somewhere near there. We are now 8th. We're beating both of our personal teams, which is a shame. So that, as Ade said earlier, 2 heads is better than 1. So we are definitely doing well. We was around 23rd or something like that. And if you do want to join the fantasy Red Divided League, let me see what the code is again. The code is 3NSA1R. So you can join the league. But we'll be back next week with the normal tips. So please make sure you tune in and please subscribe, like, and comment and let us know what your thoughts are. We'll be back again. Ade, thanks. Enjoy the rest of your trip in Nigeria.
Thank you.
And by the next time we do this trip, you'll be back in the country.
I will hopefully with lots of fantasy points.
Hopefully. All right, we out. Peace.
All right, peace.